Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing the return of Adobe Premiere edited videos. Andor, which completed its first season on Disney Plus last week, is from creator Tony Gilroy, a writer for Michael Clayton, the original Bourne trilogy, and of course, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. A spin-off of one of Rogue One's characters before the events of the movie. A hardened criminal on the run from the Empire who may actually end up joining the rebellion. You wouldn't think anybody was really clamoring to hear more from him, but this show doesn't care. But in this case, that's not a bad thing. It's more interested in turning him into a fan favorite than showing you more of what you've already seen. And this time it actually has what it takes to do that. This is a show with no fan service. It doesn't want to put things in to remind you of older Star Wars films. This is its own thing, and its only concern is telling the story at hand. It barely even feels like a Star Wars show. This could have probably gone on to some other service, changed the main character's name, redesigned maybe just a few sets and props, and it would probably only be occasionally compared to Star Wars for concept alone. Although, unfortunately, it does take a little time to fully get going. The first episodes are kind of slow and boring. They build the story and characters, but yet there isn't really much of a hook for the earliest episodes to keep the viewer entertained. But once it finds its footing, it has some of the best Star Wars stuff in years. At first, I was thinking it was yet another Disney Plus show that should have been a movie instead. I even put that as my Letterboxd review, even going so far as to say it was the one on the service that should have been a movie the most. But then, as it went on, it started to come closer to resembling an actual show. And so I put an edit saying that. And then I found out that Andor doesn't have a Letterboxd page and everyone's just been posting their reviews under some random Holocaust documentary that just happened to have the same name and come out the same year. But whatever, the point is the best episodes are amazing. And every episode is better than the one before. I don't remember if that's true of the early episodes, but it is for most of the show. It's a more mature look at the Star Wars universe, more interested in characters and story than action and, look, I recognize a thing. It has morally ambiguous characters and situations, in contrast to the rest of the franchise's clear-cut good and bad guys, even going so far as to follow characters from the Empire in parallel to the main rebel characters. But despite that, it still amplifies the idea of the Empire as an oppressive government. It deals with issues like police brutality, the prison system, and human rights violations. This is the most rebellious show in a franchise about rebels. In conclusion, despite a less than amazing start, this show is almost too good for Disney+. A PG-13 show about a kid-targeted universe with space wizards and stuff that's actually aimed at adults. This has the potential to turn into something truly great with upcoming seasons.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
We're off to visit the planets. There are treats galore in the stars. Venus is loaded with candy, and ice cream is found upon Mars. The soda pop's fizzing on Saturn. When you're thirsty, it sure hits the spot. And Jupiter's really jumping with popcorn that's buttered and hot. But the best of them all is the planet, where all of these treats are at hand. And that is the spot we now head for, our theater refreshment stand.
Hey, CBS, what's coming on?
On Friday night, blast off to a galaxy far, far away. It's the Star Wars Holiday Special, starring all your Star Wars favorites. Will Chewbacca get home to his planet in time for the big Wookiee holiday celebration? Find out on the star-studded Star Wars Holiday Special, Friday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
You're on.
And now, our feature presentation.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, also put up on Disney Plus last week. A pretty big week for this service. So much Disney Plus stuff I'm not even able to talk about the Chucky season finale on Sci-Fi. And that would have been a big thing to talk about any other week. But anyway, this was written and directed by James Gunn. In it, Star-Lord is depressed this Christmas, and so some of his friends try to cheer him up by kidnapping Kevin Bacon. It's an hour-long special like this year's Werewolf by Night. And while it isn't as big a departure as that one was, it doesn't need to be. It's exactly what you'd expect with that title. A fun adventure with the Guardians at Christmas time. There is very little action and the stakes are pretty much as low as they can be, so I guess maybe that makes it different. Like Andor, it's pretty much free of fan service and does not try to set anything else up. It's a self-contained story that probably won't have much of an effect on the Marvel Universe. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that it's fun. The cast still has great chemistry with each other, and there are lots of funny moments with also a few heartfelt moments of Christmas spirit. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Maybe I should have talked about Chucky, but that probably wouldn't have been a weird pairing with Andor. But anyway, I don't think it's quite as good as the movies, but it definitely works in its own right. It's among the better things to come out of the mostly underwhelming Phase 4. Will it become a new holiday classic? I don't know, but some people are probably going to watch it every Christmas for at least a few more years. It's James Gunn's Guardians and a fun, low-stakes piece of Christmas fluff. Those of you who follow my Twitter may instead want to look at my Mastodon, where I'm going to post most of my stuff, at least until I'm convinced that Twitter isn't going to die or become total shit. Link in the description. And also there's a link to my Patreon page as well. Support this channel.